I think what I've seen I'm now with CAIR-Philadelphia over 7 years, alhamdulillah. And what I've seen is there were multiple moments when we needed to really extend ourselves. It's tough. We did that because we knew the community deserved it, right? So that commitment to community goes a long way for us at CAIR-Philadelphia. And whether that community members in Harrisburg, in Lancaster, in State College, right here in Philadelphia, in West Philly or North Philly, it is one of those moments that we, especially this year, felt like we need to extend ourselves.
I think right now we're very people-oriented and we're willing to, if we don't have it, we'll figure it out personally. But I definitely think, people know what CAIR-Philly is sometimes, but I think the amount of work we want to do and could do, it would be way more helpful if more people were able to contribute and help out in any way. A lot of our programs are free, and there are a lot of programs that I know that offer not the same thing, but something similar for a cost, and that was way higher. So even just us offering these resources to our community for free, it still takes that physical work toll on us. So those resources could be used.
Our legal team jumped on calls late at night, right? So in their private law firm experience, that was something that was out of thought, out of the realm of possibilities. They understood that this work is different. Myself, there were multiple moments that in a moment's notice I had to jump on calls with mosque board members or community members. And this has been true throughout my time at CAIR-Philadelphia, but the last 2 years especially, we felt if the organization is at that moment, that we are closer to our community, that the community is trusting us more. When I look at our numbers, in terms of legal complaints, we have seen a huge jump, in between 2022 to 2023. It's not merely a war on Gaza phenomenon.
I think CAIR was the first thing that got me into volunteering, really. The biggest part of the mission that stands out to me was empowering Muslims. I feel at a lot of our events, people will come up to me and be especially if it's their first time, this, we had no idea there was such a community out here. We've been feeling so lonely.
So we had on civil rights discrimination case around 99 cases in 2022. We had that jump to 184 in 2023. Much of it, after October 2023. And then this year we have logged in 214 legal complaints cases that we have addressed one way or another. So we didn't see a reduction in the cases throughout this year. If anything, of course, this is a function partially of the war on Gaza, but our legal intake system is anything, right? So from somebody who is in a shop and they are being told, you're wearing the hijab, you cannot be in this shop.
Safety ultimately means protection. Do I feel safe? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I feel with everything that's going on now, oftentimes it's no more than yes. I was doing traveling CNA, so I was away in Eastern PA. My weekend off, I decided to come and spend the weekend with my sister. So my sister and I decided to go to Target Master. We went to Target Master, and immediately, we wasn't even in the store for maybe 5 minutes. We was looking, at the case, the guns in the casing. And one of the employees asked us, do we need help with anything? We said, no, not right now. We're just looking for now, with intention to buy. So not even 2 minutes later, he come back. Do you need help with anything? Once again, no, we're still looking with intentions to buy. After maybe about the third time the guy asked us, did we need help anything? That's when it became uncomfortable because I felt like we was starting to be profiled. I've been there years ago before I was covered, and we had no problem. We had access to the range. We used the range. We shot a couple different firearms, and that was it. This time when we went, I was covered. It was a major issue with me wearing my hijab. After we left, me and my sister left Target Master, it was on my mind a lot. So I started looking up Target Master and seeing if any other Muslim sisters had any problems going into Target Master. And I came across another sister. I seen her article, and she I think it was listed in her article that she went through CAIR. So that's how I came across CAIR. Some people will try to like sweep the situation under the rug, or they'll say, well, this is, you don't really have a case or whatever. But after I reached out to the CAIR team, and they did let me know, well, yeah, this is like, racial profiling, I felt pretty good about it.
I'm a Penn State alum, so I know a few things also happen on Penn State campus. A lot of people actually reached out to me and they're like, oh, we didn't know you were part of CAIR. Like, CAIR helped us so much when we were at Penn State main campus, when it came to discrimination cases and stuff like that. And I wasn't even aware of that. So when these people like reach out to me personally and tell me like, yeah, like the work that CAIR does is so amazing. Like, we're so thankful that someone told me that something had happened to them, and the next day CAIR immediately reached out to them. Like, they didn't even have to reach out to CAIR, but CAIR was so on top of it that they were able to reach out to this person and immediately help them with some discrimination that they were going through on college campuses.
Our entire life experience has been fear. We constantly fear, going about our daily functions in a manner where we could be perceived as a threat. We constantly fear speaking up against the injustices that we face, because it's very likely that if we speak up against those injustices, it'll actually be turned into something that could be used against us. And so I think that is a big component as to why people like myself feel like we can't reach out to organizations like CAIR. Because if we do, we feel like it kind of puts another target on our back that we certainly don't want. I on campus was experiencing this sort of campaign of erasure at the hands of the administration and public safety at Swarthmore College. In the fall semester of my sophomore year, this was when the genocide was first starting and I was starting to engage with activism. I had been racially profiled and misidentified and received discipline charges for protests that I wasn't even on campus for. And from there, I was speaking to some of the, people that I trust on campus, and they kept on referring me to CAIR. Go to CAIR, go to CAIR, go to CAIR. CAIR is going to be able to help you with this. CAIR certainly does live up to, the standards that it sets for itself and for its community. It was incredibly understanding, and for the first time I felt like I was being heard and perceived in the manner that I wanted to be. I didn't have to justify the injustices that I was experiencing in order to actually, receive the care. I didn't have to prove that I was, worthy of support and of the care of, an organization like CAIR.
I think from even just like seeing the amount of programs that in general that exist, typically you have to pay, and so it's harder to reach certain communities, especially an organization that's like you're trying to be for the people, and sometimes not everyone has resources and access and things like that. We're offering like the Muslim Youth Leadership Summit. Most of our all of the young professional events have been free. So like the Know Your Rights trainings, and we even go to like schools and stuff for employees or staff that aren't necessarily Muslim but work with Muslims, and we're doing all of this and offering these services for free. But at the same time, like the resources cost, or even when you do have an event, you need to feed people. So being able to do these things and remove all barriers to access, I think is very important.
It takes dedication, and it takes really caring about the community. I have had moments when I had to ask our staff members to be in West Philadelphia early in the day, and then to go to Northeast Philadelphia later in the day to do outreach, to do programs, to do door knocking, and those were moments that I felt like, okay, this is not fair. You definitely need to grow in size, but that our staff members still sort of said yes, we'll do it because they care. It's not because they're an executive director said so. It's not because that it was easy, alhamdulillah, for the ability to be able to be in service of our communities, because our communities deserve more, because we deserve more, because this country deserves to move past its racial, its economic, its incarceral systems that are built around the systems of injustice.